What's up everybody, it is Rustbeard, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if this is the first video you are seeing of mine. Today, we're going to be continuing on the ranking video, the ranking World of Warcraft dungeons, and this week, we are touching up on Cataclysm dungeons. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the ranking of Cataclysm dungeons. I think, what do we got here first? We got Grim Batol. I'm going to put Grim Batol immediately in B tier because it's definitely not my favorite, but I am a pretty big fan of Dwarven shit, and yeah, really that's the only reason I need. I think it was fun, and I like dwarf shit, and that's just how it is. I could also say that I really like dragon stuff, but let's be real, there's quite a bit of dragon stuff in Cataclysm, so that would be redundant pretty quick. So Hour of Twilight. So Hour of Twilight I'm gonna put in probably, I'm gonna put it in C tier for the aesthetic. I think it's cool, and I like going back to some of the old Northrend areas destroyed, kinda, you know, with like the tentacle things coming out of the ground and shit like that. I think that was fun. However, they have definitely done stuff like that since with similar zones, if not the same zone. I'm pretty sure Dragonblight has been redone a couple times. Or maybe not redone, but like came back to a couple of times. So yeah, I don't know. It was alright, but not my favorite. Lost City of Tol'vir. I think I'm probably gonna put this one in B tier as well, because I liked the aesthetic of this one. I love the Egyptian theme stuff in Uldum, and I think that it's very well done for what it was trying to go for. But again, it's not one of my favorites that's on this list. I think there's definitely a couple of them that I like a little bit more. Stonecore. So going to the center of Azeroth, into the core of the earth, and having a bunch of elemental shit happen is always going to be fun in my book. I personally liked Stonecore quite a bit. I would probably put Stonecore in... I'd probably put Stonecore in A tier, because I remember the challenge of it when it first came out, or at least when it was current for me. Like I have mentioned in my previous video, Cataclysm is the only expansion that I didn't play while it was like current, but I did play through a lot of the Cataclysm stuff during Mists of Pandaria, and to my understanding the things were still, I mean leveling wise anyway, obviously if you were max level or whatever you could go back and breeze through these, but while you're leveling, going through the Cataclysm dungeons, especially heroics, was pretty difficult. And I remember having a pretty hard time with some of the Stonecore bosses, even when I learned the mechanics and whatnot, trying to get people to understand them as well, especially if you're in like pugs and stuff, was quite the challenge. So, but aesthetically it's really cool. I liked Stonecore quite a bit. I think overall it's just a pretty fun experience, you know, so there's that. Okay, so I forgot we are going to be doing some remakes of a couple of dungeons, specifically Shadowfang Keep and Deadmines. And I'll say this, I liked both the remakes. I liked both the remakes quite a bit. However, I think for Deadmines, I liked the original more. But I still really like the new Deadmines as well, so I don't know if I would give it... I can't give it a higher than a C probably, just because I do think that the original one is a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there at C. And then Shadowfang Keep, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I love Shadowfang Keep no matter what it is. The new version, the old version, I think it's great, but I'm going to put it in A tier because I think I put Shadowfang Keep in S tier on my classic dungeons. And I don't think I like it more than the original, but I do love it quite a bit, even in its newest form. Throne of Tides. So, Throne of Tides aesthetically is just my jam. I love underwater stuff. I love the big jellyfish elevator that you're on with all the like watery like walls and shit around it. I think it was super cool. I personally love doing it. I know a couple people that are not too fond of it, but I don't care. This is my tier list. Get off of me. I'm putting it in S tier because I personally think it's probably one of my favorite of the Cataclysm dungeons by quite a bit. Vortex Pinnacle. Vortex Pinnacle is going to go into A tier. I like Vortex Pinnacle quite a bit, and I think, again, it's just because of the atmosphere of it. I love the Egyptian-esque stuff in general in Uldum. I just like Uldum as a zone, honestly, but the big towers in the sky and everything with the clouds and the stuff falling off the sides and whatnot, the sand and whatnot. Oh, dude, it's just so cool. I think it's really, really cool, really fun. I had a lot of fun with Vortex Pinnacle when it was something that was fresh to me, so I would put it in A. I don't think I like it more than Throne of Tides, so there's that. Well of Eternity, I'm going to probably put in S tier as well. I liked Well of Eternity quite a bit. Mainly for lore purposes, of course. I think it was just a really cool way to experience the lore of Well of Eternity. And I believe Ashara and all that kind of stuff. It was just a cool way to tell the story in the form of a dungeon that, in my opinion, sometimes is a hit or miss when it comes to some of the more story-focused dungeons. Okay, so Zul'Aman, I am going to probably put in S tier because I personally remember having a really fun time getting my Amani Battle Bear, and I ride my Amani Battle Bear quite a bit. I love bears, okay? Bears in general are probably some of my favorite mounts in the game. I just love bears in general. They're like one of my favorite animals, so like Zul'Aman with the Amani Battle Bear just puts it in a higher stake for me. I also, as I've said in previous videos, love the trolls and the troll lore and stuff like that, so that's gonna go in S tier. And I'm putting Zul'Gurub just below it because I am still to this day trying to get my tiger and my raptor, and it will not drop at all. I have tried so hard. I've tried to run this dungeon so many times, it's not even funny. And maybe once I get them, I'll come back to this video and I will put it in S tier where it rightfully belongs. But until I get those mounts, you're staying in A tier, boy. End time. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Sorry if you're an End Time fan. It was alright. Blackrock Caverns, I had a lot of fun with. I'm gonna put Blackrock Caverns in B tier because Blackrock Caverns, in my opinion, is not better than the ones that are above here, or that are up here. But it is a fun dungeon. I think it was a pretty cool experience. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put End Time in D. I'm gonna put, yeah, End Time's gonna go in D. Sorry, I'm gonna backtrack on that one. It's going in D because it was just, don't really have too much of an opinion on it. I'd run any of these other dungeons before End Time. Anyway, Blackrock Caverns, I liked it quite a bit, but really the only reason I would put it in B instead of an A or S is because I like the A and S spots better, the ones that I put in there, so that's really all I got. So that'll be it for my ranking of the Cataclysm dungeons in World of Warcraft. I hope you all enjoyed. I would very much like to know what your favorite of the Cataclysm dungeons are, and what was your least favorite? Which ones did you have a particularly hard time doing when Cataclysm was first released? I know that Cataclysm had quite the reputation for being pretty difficult when it came to the heroic dungeons, and did you prefer those more challenging dungeons, or do you prefer something that's a little bit more streamlined and save the hard shit for Mythic Plus? Let me know. Let me know what you think. I would very much like to know what you guys have as far as that goes. Also, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. It would very, 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 very much be appreciated if you did that. And make sure you stay tuned for next week's video where we will be getting into my personal favorite Mists of Pandaria dungeons. But until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.